I'm Steve Levesque. I'm the manager of the Hollywood Cars Museum and Liberace Garage here in Las Vegas. We're not on the Strip, we're right on the other side of the freeway, very close to the famous Las Vegas Strip. Here at the museum we have over 100 cars and vehicles from film and television, and we also have the amazing cars of Liberace. The neat thing about the Liberace cars here, they're on loan from the Liberace Foundation, and all the money for the Liberace Foundation goes to musical charity. We found out that those cars were actually in storage, so we've given them a nice home here, and when people come through the museum, it's kind of a nice surprise to see, after seeing all the Hollywood cars, then you see these really blinged out amazing cars that represent Las Vegas, because he was at one point the highest paid entertainer in Las Vegas, if not the world. So what we have here, this pink Mercedes limo, which actually has a hot tub in it, a heart-shaped hot tub. And at one point, at 38 feet, this was the world's largest limo in the world, and it was recognized by Guinness Book of World Records. Now, our owner, who owns most of these cars, and he's in Florida, he actually found the car that broke the record, and that was 100 feet. So if you look at this car and see how long it is, at 38 feet, it would be more than twice as long as this. And that car was, he found it, it was deteriorating, and he brought it, he spent a lot of money to restore it, and he actually added on 5 feet to it. So that one is in Orlando right now, and that broke the record. But even at 38 feet, you can see how big this car is. We can't move it around because it barely fits in here. So it has to pretty much sit here. We've had movies and commercials and TV shows want to rent this car as a prop, and they've offered us a lot of money to rent it. We said, you know what? It was too hard to get in here, so it's not worth it. We're not taking it out. Well, we're the Hollywood Cars Museum and Liberace Garage, but we actually have vehicles, just not cars, different types of vehicles, motorcycles, scooters, you name it. This is actually a real lifeboat, and this is the actual lifeboat that was used in the movie starring Tom Hanks about Captain Phillips. Captain Phillips was, if you saw the movie or know about it, he was the captain that the Somali pirates captured to hold ransom. And if you look up there, the hole up there, the Navy SEALs came and shot the Somali pirates through the window, and they saved Captain Phillips, who in the movie is Tom Hanks. So our owner of all these cars, he's a big real estate developer and a car collector. He's like a kid when it comes to collecting cars. He has over 2,000 cars and vehicles. So he gave us all these cars to have them on display here in Las Vegas and have this museum. I got a call from him and he said, Steve, I've got a boat coming. I bought it in Hollywood, but I'm sending it to you for the Las Vegas Museum. I said, what kind of a boat is it? He said, well, it's from a movie. Here, call the guy I bought it from. He'll tell you all about it. So he told me about it, and I said, how big is this thing? He told me how big it was, and I go, well, how's it coming? He said, it's going to come on a flatbed truck. And I said, does it have a stand? And he said, no, it's just propped up with wood. So I said, oh my God, how am I going to move this thing? So I had to have this stand built, this giant steel stand with wheels, and then I had to have it custom made, and then I had to hire a mobile crane to lift this thing off, put it on the stand, and all of us push it over here. So that was one of those situations where you never know what's going to show up, and when it does show up, you got to figure out what to do with it. But luckily, it's on wheels, so if we ever have to move it, we can. But if you look at the inside of it, you can see this is a real lifeboat, and once the door is shut, I think it holds about 30 people. it'll just bob in the ocean no matter how rough the seas. If it flips over, it'll come up. It's airtight, so people can survive as long as you don't have a Somali pirate inside with you. Well, it's the cars, and then he has an 800,000 square foot shopping mall that he bought. So inside of there is go-karts and climbing walls. And it's right on I-Drive, International Drive, right where all the tourist stuff is. Kind of at the entrance of Universal Studios. All right, so this is one of my favorite cars here. This is a Lotus Submarine car, and this was from the movie The Spy That Loved Me with James Bond and with Roger Moore. And if anyone remembers the movie, there's a scene in it where he's driving this car and he's got a lovely young lady in the passenger seat. They're being chased by bad guys in the air, on the land, everywhere. They're chasing James Bond. And he's driving towards the ocean and looks to his passenger and says, by the way, can you swim? And she said, oh yeah, I can swim. He's all good. He drives his car off the pier into the ocean. And it goes underwater, and the wheels flip up, and the fins pop out, and it becomes a submarine. So this car became a submarine under the water, and if you look up on top, it's got a periscope and the red rocket. He shoots the rocket up from under the water, it goes up and blows up the bad guy's helicopter. So there was 3 of these cars used to make that movie. One of the cars, we don't know where it is. The other car, a lady bought kind of a storage wars thing. She bought a storage unit and the car was in it. Later on, she sold it at auction. Elon Musk bought it from Tesla for $900,000. So, and he's going to actually turn it into a real working submarine. Because when they made the movie, these were just kind of towed underwater. They were just props. This one, a James Bond enthusiast let our owner know, who collects James Bond memorabilia and vehicles, that the third car, one of the lost cars, was in a junkyard in Jamaica. And he arranged to have it, he got it for free, had it shipped here to Las Vegas, and it was restored on the TV show Rick's Restoration, or American Restoration. And the restoration, what they negotiated on camera was $50,000 to restore it. When we went to pick it up, they said, well, I'm going to write the check for the $50,000. They said, no, it actually cost $75,000. And he said, what happened to the $50,000? Well, that was on camera. The actual cost, our actual cost is $75,000. So he goes, wasn't too happy. Okay. I announced that we had it. I did a press release. A collector in Canada called and offered us $750,000 for it. And I went to our owner and said, Michael, we got an offer, $750,000 for it. And he goes, no, tell him I want $1 million. And Elon Musk paid $900. I want $1 million. I told the guy in Canada, I called him back, and he goes, I can't believe you won't take my $750, and he hung up on me. And I told Michael, and he goes, that's good, because we want to keep it. And I said, yeah, I want to keep it too. So, all right, guys, so this is probably, I have a lot of favorites. This is probably my all-time favorite, because as a kid, growing up, a little kid in 1965, 66, my favorite TV show was Batman. I couldn't believe it was only on the air for 2 years, but I guess I must have watched the reruns, because I just remember watching it all the time. This is, the man who built the Batmobile is a man named George Barris, very famous car customizer, and he's the one who built Batman. And he built it on the concept car called the Ford Futura that almost had the wings and everything. It never went into production, but he kind of based it on the look of that car to make it look like a bat. The very first one he made was fuzzy because he wanted to make it look like a bat. The rest of them were smooth, like this one. This one is officially licensed by George Barris. It was never used in the TV show or the movie, but it is a completely authentic to George Barris specifications Batmobile, and this is probably the most popular car that we have. What's nice about it is a lot of these cars from film and TV the little kids don't know Starsky and Hutch. They don't know Dukes of Hazzard. They might not know the A-Team, but they all know Batman. So big kids and little kids alike all go crazy. So this is probably our most popular car at the Hollywood Cars Museum. That's the Batmobile from the movie Batman Returns. They made 18 of these for the movie because they have to make a lot of the cars for different types of scenes. I would say that these are probably our most popular cars, even though they're crashed, they're shot up, they're burned. These were the 2 stunt cars used in the first Fast and Furious movie, which has become a huge franchise all around the world. This is the stunt car that Paul Walker drove in the very first movie. So people go crazy when they see this one. You know, people can buy little cars of this, they can build the models. They love this car. It doesn't matter that it's got bullet holes or it's been burned or whatever. They just go nuts. Ironically, Paul Walker died in a car accident in an exotic Porsche at a charity event. When that happened, we had a lot of people come here with teddy bears and signs and candles, because this is maybe the closest that people in Vegas or the tourists could get to Paul Walker. So we had a lot of people come in and kind of pay tribute to him here at the cars. That is another one from the movie. That's the Mazda that I think Dom Toretto drove in the movie. People have tried to buy these and our owner won't sell them. He's got some other kind of clones that are all perfect, but these are the most valuable because these are the real deal. These are the real stunt cars from the first movie.
Room back here is the Liberace Garage. It houses some of Liberace's cars that he took on stage. He's the first entertainer to bring a vehicle on stage in 1958. And the back of the room, we also have an extended exhibit called Ultimate Influencer. That is an extended exhibit, so it's an extended $5 per person. It goes into Liberace's influence through pop culture. So we have a lot of Liberace artifacts along with people that he's influenced. That's just the costumes that we have here are from the movie Behind the Candelabra. They're from Michael Douglas and Matt Damon's costumes, like the one that we have in the back. So the cars, like I was saying, once he would take up on stage, first entertainer to do that in 1958. This car right here, he actually used in Palm Springs. It's his personal car. It goes into a little bit more. It goes through his influence of television, movies, music, art, things like that. So it's a lot of fun. It starts at the wall that the old museum was going to look like, and then it goes on to different things that he's done and who he's came in contact with through the years. So these were a picked wall of celebrities that he worked with. We have an exhibit of Gloria Vanderbilt. She actually made this piece for him. It's a very personal piece that she made for him. We have another location. It's a private location. It's called Thriller Villa. And it's where Michael Jackson resided before he passed away in his California home. And we have the rest of a lot of Liberace artifacts there at the villa.
Is that open to the public?
It is only you can get through our tickets through our website. You can go through our website and get the tickets, and it's a private tour done by the chairman himself. These are just some of the items that we have. Like they were saying, the costumes are from the movie Behind the Candelabra. So they are Michael Douglas and Matt Damon's costumes, designed by Lima. He actually got this for the old museum, and he used to drive it around with VIPs and friends. This is another one of his show cars that he would take up on stage with him as his Model A Ford replica, complete with the rubber seats. He used it here at the old Las Vegas Hilton in the 70s. There's actually a little step on the other side.